and sacrifice. Following this week's appalling killing of 7 humanitarian workers from World Central Kitchen, the Israeli government has acknowledged mistakes and announced some disciplinary measures. But the essential problem is not who made the mistakes. It is the military strategy and procedures in place that allow for those mistakes to multiply time and time again. Fixing those failures requires independent investigations and meaningful and measurable changes on the ground. In the aftermath of this tragedy, the United Nations was also informed by the Israeli government of its intention to allow a substantial increase in humanitarian aid distributed in Gaza. I sincerely hope that these announced intentions are effectively and quickly materialized, because the situation in Gaza is absolutely desperate. Dramatic humanitarian conditions require a quantum leap in the delivery of life-saving aid, a true paradigm shift. I repeat my urgent appeals for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire, the unconditional release of all hostages, the protection of civilians, and the unimpeded delivery of humanitarian aid. Last week, the Security Council called for just that. And in December, the Council demanded accelerating the delivery of life-saving aid under a UN mechanism. All these demands must be implemented. Failure would be unforgivable. 6 months on, we are at the brink of mass starvation, of regional conflagration, of a total loss of faith in global standards and norms. It is time to step back from the brink, to silence the guns, to ease the horrible suffering, and to stop a potential famine before it is too late. Thank you.
Thank you. Edie Letter.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. You've said there should be an independent investigation. What can the United Nations do to promote such an investigation?
Well, it is obviously for the government of Israel to accept the possibility of that independent investigation, because the investigation can only work with the cooperation of the Israeli authorities. But as I said, the question is not this only specific incident. 196 humanitarian workers have been killed, and we want to know why each one of them was killed.
Gabriel.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. Gabriel Elizondo from Al Jazeera English. Sir, the Israeli government seemed to indicate that they would only open the Erez crossing temporarily. Are you satisfied with that?
We don't know yet what kind of measures we announced entirely. It is obvious that, as I said, it's not enough to have scattered measures. We need a paradigm shift. We will see if it comes, and after that, we will pronounce ourselves.
Talal.
Thank you. Talal Haj from Al Arabiya. Mr. Secretary General, we have been grown accustomed to straight talk without fear or favor in this United Nations of Antonio Guterres. On the 25th of March, when 2728 was endorsed by the Council with the abstention of the United States, we heard statements from high officials in the United States, including the National Security Council and the White House, that this resolution is non-binding resolution. This really concerned thousands and I could say millions of people in my region. Can you put the matter to lay and please clarify to us whether the Security Council resolutions are binding or non-binding? And another point, quickly, today Israel has fired 2 low-level officers and reprimanded some high officers for the bombing of the World Central Kitchen. Is that enough?
Well, first of all, the Secretary General is guided by the Charter, and the Charter is clear in Article 25. Please read Article 25, and you will be perfectly aware of the nature of the resolutions of the Security Council. And the second, as I said, the question is not only to know if some mistakes were committed and who committed them. The question is the system that allows those mistakes to happen time and time again. And it is the change of that system that is required, which implies a change in the strategy and the procedures that the military are using in Gaza.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Secretary General, what is your tool of last resort